Wilmington. I was going to say good morning, Delaware. Good morning, Wilmington. And we have a special guest with a lot going on in Vincenza with COVID and everything. I think this is an awesome time to introduce this amazing superhero, as we call Superman, who is the CEO, and Mr. Adams, Robert Adams, is the CEO of TeleHelp, a virtual mental health
care company.
Care company. I didn't want to say service because he services people, but it's a care company. So welcome.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here.
So okay, what is it? What is it in the whole?
Great. So TeleHelp 24/7 is a virtual mental health care company designed for communities of color. And so it's really for people who understand us, who pretty much are in tune to what our idiosyncrasies are, our challenges as a culture. And so we want folks who can relate to their providers and really help them navigate through some of life's challenges.
When did you start it?
So we started it in 2018.
Okay.
And I will say that my background lended to the whole inception of it because I've been in the pharmaceutical industry for 30 years. And the last 8 years was in mental health.
Okay.
So I had a responsibility for the entire state of Delaware. And unfortunately, I've seen some of the worst of the worst. Those who have not been diagnosed, but continuously decompensate when it comes to their mental health. And so we wanted to start something that would be advantageous for communities of color, people of color, so that they can get the help that they need.
Robert, I'm sure that you've seen an increase in demand for mental health care through this entire pandemic.
Absolutely.
I'm sure, we all talk about it all the time. Ivan and I talk about it all the time, the importance of mental health care, and even just our own personal lives, how we need to always make sure we're taking care of our own mental health. I'm sure you've seen an increase through this pandemic. What has the organization done to really help that need?
So that's a great question, and you're right. Everyone is struggling. No one knew that this pandemic was coming, and there's no way to prepare for it. But one of the things that we've been able to do is to make sure that we can staff appropriately. And so we realize that so many, on top of all the issues that many people face, have pandemic fatigue, right? And so what we made sure, so what we're doing at TeleHelp 24/7 is we're making more and more of our providers available, but we've also added certified life coaching. Because when some people go through challenges, they don't necessarily identify it under the umbrella of mental health. So maybe they can be coached through their grief. Maybe they can be coached through some of their trauma that they've been facing with some of the violence that's going on in our neighborhoods. And so those are some of the things that we're doing to expand to ensure that everyone gets the help that they need.
In the black community, right, in black and brown community, we grew up, and that was just crazy Johnny from down the street. Right. It wasn't, mental health wasn't a thing. It didn't have a name attached to it. It was just, and now with seeing that and putting I don't want to say label on it, do you find it easier to do it virtually than having, for us, right? Because we don't go to the doctors. Right. Do you find it easier for black and brown folks to say, to pick up, to get online versus coming in?
Absolutely, because again, the number one thing is that it helps to protect the anonymity, right? No one wants to be seen going in and out of the psychiatric office or the counseling office. But being able to get the help that you need virtually, it really helps in so many ways. So again, number one, maintaining their anonymity. Number two, you don't have to travel, right? So you can do it on your lunch hour. You can do it from your home. You can get the counseling services or coaching services that you need. And then all of the things that have happened within the last year and a half with the George Floyd incident and all of the racial unrest and the pandemic again. There's so many things that have really happened. And now we are finally acknowledging that mental health exists in our communities. And so now that we are acknowledging that, it gives us the stimulus to really move forward and get the help that we need.
No, I really, really appreciate that you are offering these virtual services. You touched on it briefly that some people are ashamed or embarrassed to say that or admit that they have this weakness. Right? We all have strengths and weaknesses. Nobody is perfect, but it's incredible that you are offering this service virtually so they can keep it private. They don't have to show anyone. They don't have to feel that they're uncomfortable leaving their own home. And also, with this pandemic, it is safer. It is safer. You're providing that safety to all ages. And now, am I correct that telehelp 24/7 is offered to all ages?
It's all ages.
Okay.
It's all ages. And one of the things that we've done because of the pandemic, and to introduce mental wellness to Black and brown communities, is that we have created something called a community assistance program, where anyone can purchase a community assistance program membership, and they can get 4 coaching or 4 counseling sessions for $120.
Okay.
And they can be used anytime in 2022. And the reason why it's so significant is because if you've ever had to pay out of pocket for counseling, it's going to cost you $125 per hour.
Yeah.
Okay.
But with this way, you can get 4 coaching or 4 counseling sessions and use them anytime during the 2022 year.
And that is an affordable deal.
Absolutely.
I mean, I've looked into life coaching. So you did touch on this. This could be, identified as life coaching, which I think is a great term to use. We always need a little boost or just someone to talk to. It's very healthy. And I think that's also something that we have to identify, that it is okay to talk to someone and have a life coach.
Absolutely.
I used to think back in the day, like going to see a shrink was a bad thing. I think now as an adult, I think everybody needs to go to one, right?
Everybody.
Every once in a while. There's nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely. It's almost like a tune-up with your car, right? Because we go through so much. Unfortunately, we have to all go through grief, right? And the reality is, if you really think about it, you have that best guy friend, that best girlfriend that you talk to.
Right.
That's probably giving you advice.
Right.
Well, it's really counseling.
Right.
If you really think about it.
Right.
It is.
So we do it all the time. It's just that we haven't done it to the level where we have to pay for it or anything like that.
Right.
And so one of the great things that I'm really proud about is that this really started because of my daughter.
Oh, it all starts with the daughter.
It all starts with the daughter. And, understanding that at one point she was diagnosed with bipolar depression, but I knew that she wanted to go away to college.
Right.
And while she has a great network here in Delaware, as a parent, I wanted to know what would happen if she suffered any type of relapse. Right? First time away from home. Never had a roommate. Have to deal with conflict and resolutions. Have to balance social along with their academics, right? And if they have a relapse, what are your options as a parent? You either have to go down to the school and create a network for them, or you have to bring them home.
Right.
And the school's not giving you your money back, right?
Right.
And so when I had traveled around to schools to investigate the options and opportunities, I realized that most schools had a deficit when it came to mental health providers on campus.
Right.
And then understanding the times that we're in. We've all had to be on Zoom or some sort of counseling piece. And then we all had to, understanding that everything is done by your smartphone now.
Yeah.
And this is where the generations are, and this is where they're going.
Right.
So it just made sense to create telehelp 24/7 so that students, parents can also be able to sit together and go through a counseling services. And now me as a parent can feel comfortable when my daughter's away that she's getting the help that she needs.
Nice.
So far we are supporting 7 historically Black colleges and universities. We have 70 churches that we've partnered with, and we have 2 school districts where we're serving. One is 21,000 students, the other is 41,000 students that we're serving. And this is why the coaching piece is so important, because there's so many students who are in need of mentorship. Right? They need the coaching, as well as those students who are in need of mental health.
Agreed.
Yes, no, I was just going to ask, but you answered my question. Is telehelp 24/7 only offered in Delaware? Clearly, it is not.
No.
It is offered everywhere.
It is offered everywhere. We're currently operating in 8 states when it comes to accepting the insurances, commercial insurance, Medicaid, Medicare.
That's what I was going to
But our goal is to be in 20 states by the end of this year.
Wow.
But we can see clients anywhere throughout the country.
As long as you got an internet connection,
Exactly.
you're good.
Exactly.
You can be seen.
Exactly. And that's the crux of it. You know, getting the help is right there, and being able to travel and be with your provider and get the help that you need. That's what makes the difference.
What about the workshops? You got some workshops.
Yes, so we also have workshops. Oftentimes, these workshops are great for developing coping skills.
Okay.
So when you're going through grief, when you're going through any type of trauma, it's always good to, number one, have some of the workshops that can help identify coping skills, that can help you navigate through it. Also workshops that can help you to identify when your loved one may be struggling and when the struggle may need to move towards counseling or coaching. And so we actually have, and we call it Talk It Out. Talk It Out workshops. So we do it with the colleges, we do it with the secondary schools, we do it with the churches. And so any of the opportunities that we have, we all are able to provide these Talk It Out workshops.
Talk it out.
Wow.
Talk it out.
With telehealth.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Robert, tell our viewers at home how they can find out more information about telehelp 24/7. If there's social media, a website, what you're looking for, is there a need? Let our viewers know.
Absolutely. So, excuse me. Absolutely. So telehelp 24/7. Our website is www.telehelp247.org. Telehelp247.org. Or you can contact us at 888-247-5767. That's 888-247-5767.
And before you get out of here,
Yes.
you want to give a shout out to your frat?
Oh yeah, the bros. Oh yes, I am a member of that great fraternity, Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. I was actually made at New Psi chapter at Virginia State University, is my alma mater, and I am a member of Nu Upsilon chapter here in the northern Newcastle area.
You might as well throw it up for him one time.
All right.
We'll be right back. And Street Break is up next, right? Street Break's up next. We'll be right back.